When there's trouble, you know who to call. The Teen Titans series is a beloved show by many, and so is the Justice League and the other shows in the DCAU. It's just too bad that we never got a crossover. But what if we kinda did? What if we need to stop looking at these shows as being in adjacent continuities, but instead as all being a part of one singular unified universe? Well, that's the subject of this episode, because today, Dave knows the case for the Teen Titans being in the DC animated universe. Teen Titans ran for 5 seasons, and it ran alongside the Justice League animated series and its follow-up show, Justice League Unlimited. Now, these two shows never had a direct crossover event, and they are extremely different in tone, one being done in Bruce Timm style, and the other being done in Murakami, which has caused many to simply assume that both shows are just completely separate from each other. But are they? Well, let's just look at the evidence. First, as I have covered previously on this channel, the Bat embargo kept a lot of characters from appearing in multiple shows. So one way of explaining the absence of characters like Robin could be that he's really just with the Titans during the events of Justice League. In fact, in one episode of Static Shock, which is officially part of the DCAU, Static asks Batman, "Where's Robin?" and he replies that he's with the Titans.
So where's Robin?
With the Titans.
The who?
You'll meet him someday.
Now, this is important for a few reasons. One, it establishes that a show that isn't done in the Bruce Timm style does exist in the DC animated universe, as well as reminding audiences that there are other shows out there besides just Justice League. Furthermore, it establishes that even though the Titans are never mentioned or shown in the Justice League show, the team does exist somewhere in the universe. However, the problem is that during this interaction between Batman and Static, it's after Tim Drake already took on the role of Robin from Dick Grayson, who had become Nightwing. Also, back when Dick Grayson was Robin, he was noticeably older looking than he appears in the Teen Titans show. And despite what some interviews have claimed, Dick Grayson is definitely the Robin in the Teen Titans series, since his specific origins are referenced and his alternate dimension doppelganger has the name of Dick Grayson backwards. But don't worry if you are a supporter of the Teen Titans being in the DCAU, because there is still a counter-argument to save the speculation, as there are some who would simply claim that the Teen Titans is a prequel to Batman the Animated Series. That's right, despite Batman the Animated Series being the show that kicked off the DCAU in 1992, Teen Titans might just take place before the events of that show. And yes, there is evidence to support this. For starters, in the beginning of the Batman animated series, Dick Grayson does mention that he hasn't had much time to do the whole superhero thing since he started college, explaining that he has been absent from being a Batcave dweller for some time, and that his teenage years are now behind him. Let's also combine this with the fact that villains like the Joker and the Penguin are already part of Batman's rogues gallery when the show begins. All this means that there are indeed parts of DC character continuity that take place before Batman the Animated Series does. Now sure, none of this really means anything on its own, but it does at least not conflict with the hypothesis so far. However, if we are to see a real piece of evidence that really does tie all these shows together, we have to look not at Robin, but instead look to other heroes, such as Speedy, because Speedy does appear in both Teen Titans and Justice League, and his look is very similar in both shows. And further tying the concept that Teen Titans is a prequel, Speedy is still Green Arrow's sidekick in Teen Titans, but is referred to as Ollie's former partner in Justice League.
And my ex-sidekick. Ex-partner? Speedy, we gotta do this now.
But that's not all, because the biggest tie-in comes from Wally West. The Flash does show up in an episode of Superman the Animated Series, as well as being a main cast member in Justice League. However, in that show, he is voiced by Michael Rosenbaum, while in Superman, he was voiced by Charlie Slater. But also, in Superman, his identity is never really revealed, while in Justice League, it was confirmed that he is indeed Wally West. Now, aside from just sounding different, the two Flashes don't act anything alike, so it's very likely that they are two different Flashes. Plus, remember that Flash is, of course, a legacy hero. So it would be fair to assume that the Flash in Superman is Barry Allen and the Flash in Justice League is Wally West. But if Teen Titans is a prequel, then where was Wally during the time while Barry was in the role of being the Flash? Well, the answer's simple. Wally would obviously be under the mantle of Kid Flash. And Kid Flash does appear in Teen Titans, and he's voiced by Michael Rosenbaum, who voices Flash in Justice League. But what do you think? Are these shows related? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe right here to Dave Knows Comics. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, Dave knows.